Hello there everybody, this is Kristen. Welcome back to the Krista Chronicles. Today we're doing a VR to the new tag queen, Angel from Feeding My Soul 1212. She just comes up with the most fun tags. Like, you could tell the goal is just like, I want to play with my decks and show my decks. So let's have fun. And so a few days ago, she put up a new one, and truly as I was watching, I was writing down my own responses. I'm so excited. So this is the hashtag the 12 deck tag, and what it is there are 4 prompts that you pick out 3 decks for, and I followed the rules this time. I've got 3 for each. So I think let's just get into it. I think that is all the preamble I need. I will leave Angel's original video linked down below, of course. Let's get started. So, prompt number 1 is 3 decks you felt called to use as soon as you received them and why. So these are going to be a few more recent acquisitions, but just because they're fresh in my memory of I got them in and pretty much they went into the rotation immediately. So the first one is the Unicorn's Journey Oracle. This is a prototype of Lisa Pupez's latest work, the Unicorn's Journey Oracle, to go with the Unicorn's Journey Tarot. And of course, as soon as I got this, I filmed a flip through, but that flip through got me so incredibly excited to use it that it, like I said, went into the rotation immediately. I started using it for my own daily draws instantly. And why that is so, and why I like using the Unicorn's Journey duo so much for daily draws is because, first of all, just a great oracle. You get your main keyword and then 3 keywords underneath. Like, not even like a title and 3 keywords. So you're basically getting 4 keywords. But like the tarot, the oracle, with each card you get an affirmation. And something about the way Lisa writes affirmations just really, really works for me. They don't feel like too fluffy, too sweet, which there is a time and a place for, but I've got decks that do that. That's not, I feel, where this one goes for me. It hits in that just right place. And something about getting that affirmation right at the beginning of the day is incredible. I love it so much. And also, like, unicorns. Starting your day with these unicorns? Yes. So yes, love this one. Been using it so much ever since. It's the Unicorn's Journey Oracle. Next, we've got 2 from Llewellyn that, again, immediately went into the rotation. First one being the Forest of Enchantment Oracle, of course. Oh, this is another one. I didn't even really realize that it's an oracle that came out to kind of go with a tarot. And we all know how I feel about the Forest of Enchantment Tarot. It is one of my favorite decks of all time, so of course this excited me a lot. And I really, really like this oracle. It is not a keyword type of oracle, it definitely is titles, but I really like it. I like that act of slowing down, pulling out the book, and getting to know the deck. And that's sort of what happened to me with the Forest of Enchantment. That one, has a tarot structure, but I think the meanings in that deck are really unique, and they blend in story and fairy tale. And so through working with the guidebook, it's like I started to kind of almost memorize certain cards, and I think this has the potential to kind of act that way as well, which is really exciting, and I love the artwork. It is so cozy. I have it away for right now, but she's gonna be back again soon. What I'm really excited about is it feels like, what I like about these decks is they feel like they can be used in the spring and summer, but because there's that cozy, even though it's very green, there's that cozy storybook quality to it that makes it feel also perfect for the winter time, which is when I tend to like pull it out the most. So very excited for that. That is the Forest of Enchantment Oracle. And last but not least in this category, I don't think we'll be surprised, the new Hedgewitch Tarot. I am so obsessed with this. I'm actually just used it this morning. First of all, the cardstock. I don't know what they did with their cardstock, but it's magical, truly magical. The way this shuffles, riffle shuffles and hand over hand, it's so good. But I love I love the theme of this deck. I love the imagery. I love the colors. It feels very well suited to this time of year. I just showed this in my capsule collections videos. I made a whole little capsule collection themed around this deck, and I actually decided to use it after I made that video. There's around 2 weeks left in August, and I've been using that little capsule collection for the rest of August, and I just love it so much. I really do. I think the guidebook's great, but just the whole vibe is so, so good. I don't know when I'm gonna put this down. I just love it so much. And it's got every season in it, so it's like, I feel like I'll be able to use it all year round. Very excited. Hedgewitch Tarot. So that are those I should say, are the 3 decks I felt called to use as soon as I received them. So now on to prompt number 2. Okay, for prompt number 2, we have 3 decks in your collection that you've never felt called to use. Sorry, brain freezing right then. 3 decks in your collection that you've never felt called to use and why. So I would say I shouldn't say 2 out of 3 of these. I wouldn't say never. This first one certainly I have, but I really can't say I feel any of these are decks that I'm like, yes, I want to read with this. Let's just get into it. The first one is the Future Vision Gem Tarot. Now sometimes I've brought this out to kind of use as a pairing, but even so, it's not really one that wins out. This is a deck based on Steven Universe, one of my favorite shows. And I don't really know, I think the thing is, and obviously this needs to be the case, when you're making a fandom deck that isn't officially licensed, you have to, do the art in your own style, and that is exactly what this creator did. So it's recognizable, but not exact. And I think that just creates a little bit of a disconnect in my brain, honestly. Which is silly. Now that I'm looking at this though, I'm like, I'm being dramatic. Because it is really good, and it really isn't that. I think just some of them, like this photo of Lars from the show, I think sometimes where the characters have these like empty eyes, I just don't love it. But it is a good deck. I don't really know why I don't go to use this, because I think I had this idea in my head that it's like really far off. I don't think that's actually super true. I don't always oh, that freaks me out. I don't always love the art style this is in. And so I think that's the thing there. But it is good. It's just one of those ones that I have. It makes me happy. I love this show, but I don't really feel called to use it much. It's kind of there. It's there a little bit as like a collector's piece. So that is the Future Vision Gem Tarot. The next one is also a Phantom deck. This is, I don't exactly know what it's called, but I'm going to call it's the Owl House Tarot. I will try to find a link below. It's from a shop called the Mystery Shack. They're not always, it's an online shop. They're not always open though, but I'll put a link to that. And so this is a deck all themed around the show Owl House. Another one I love. Now this one, I really do like this one. I like the art in it. My hang up with this one is that I don't know what the different suits are. The suits have been renamed, and the renaming wasn't put anywhere I can find. So I have a little bit of trouble. Potions, like, okay, that's cups. Oh, and then on some of the cards though, they're not really labeled, and these little symbols on top you think would be like a hint, but they're all the same. So you get it on the quartz and the majors, but then the other cards you don't. And now we're getting all those. See, like, this doesn't mean anything to me. It's the 7 of something, but I don't know what. And so it's a little confusing to me. By little, I mean very. There's no guide, no, like, I can't, if I'm wrong, someone please tell me. I'd be so excited to be wrong. But I've looked, I cannot figure it out. And again, the only like hint to the titles are the court cards. I can't make sense of it. I have, one of my coworkers likes this show too, and we have like what's the wording I'm looking for? We've like pored over this deck and debated what is what. I don't know. Like, that's the tenor. I don't know. The only one that's very clear, the cups always has these little jars. But yeah, so I think it's really just like a difficult to use scenario. I would love if it had a guidebook, because otherwise I think it's great. But I love having it. You know, it's one of those ones where it's like, if there's a deck about a cartoon that I have enjoyed, I want it. And I love Owl House, so yes, that is the Owl House Tarot. I've really never used it because I can't quite figure it out. Last but not least, the Wizard's Tarot. I bought this used on such a whim years ago, and have probably really never used it. However, it makes me so oddly happy. I couldn't tell you why. It just, every time I think about like, oh, maybe I should like consider rehoming that, because it gets no playtime. I take it out and I'm like, I can't, it's gotta stay. Something about it I love so much. And it's funny because it's really nothing like any of my other decks. So it's not like it fits the usual vibe. But it's so strange. I just really like it. And so it's one that I kind of just flip through every once in a while to look at the pictures. I like seeing if it'll pair with certain things, but I don't use it. And no reason. But it's here for my own happiness. It's so funny. You know what it reminds me too? I say this every time, but there's an episode of Adventure Time where they do a wizard battle, and that's what this reminds me of. And so I think there's also that connection in my brain that also makes me really happy. I actually should try pairing this with the Adventure Time Tarot. That could be fun. I don't know. But for now, she's gotten no play, and that's okay. So that's the Wizard's Tarot. Alright, on to prompt number 3. Okay, prompt number 3 is 3 decks in your collection you want to do a deep study with and why. Now, if you've been watching my channel for a hot second, this first one's gonna be no surprise. Anytime deep study comes up, or deck study, I bring this up every time. Have I done it yet? No. It's the Terra Volatile Tarot. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why I haven't. And I'm not one to like, because I feel like probably what a lot of people are thinking are like, hey Krista, you just don't have to. Like, it's okay to be like, just kidding, don't want to do that anymore. I know that. It's not the case. I don't, like, I really, really do feel a desire to. And I don't know, just hasn't happened. It'll happen. It'll come around when it's meant to. Because I think this deck is so interesting. I love the imagery. I love the images. Now, if you're hearing that, Stevie's currently... Love that. She is clawing the, what do you call those? Window screen. Slay. What I think is gonna help, like, the things I have done to, like, study this deck, I tell you, because the whole guidebook's online, started with that. However, when I'm doing a reading, I don't really want to have to, like, pull out my phone or pull it up on the computer. I just don't like doing that. So when they came out with the big guidebook, the big, like, coffee table book, I got that. But that's really heavy. It's really heavy and big to bring out and kind of cumbersome. So then they came out with the small book. Hemmed and hawed over it because I was like, Krista, are you really gonna buy another, like, you have a book. Truly thought about it for like a year. Finally just bought it. And now that I have that in hand, I'm like, no, okay, this feels so much more accessible, doable for me. So I think the time is coming. Something about this deck really just makes me think of November. I don't like the month energy. So I think that's gonna be my time. I think me and Terra Volatile are gonna have a moment with the new book in November. So yes. Terra Volatile. Okay, next I've got actually 2 NJ Cullinane books. Oh my gosh, she's chasing her tail on her little ledge. That makes me nervous. Okay, Amy. So this first one I actually just did a walkthrough of. It is the Garden of Enchanted Creatures. This is the newest. It was on Indiegogo. I just got this in last week at some point. And while the art style is very similar to what she's done before, the mode feels very different. There's a lot going on each card, and everything on the card has purpose, has meaning, and the guidebook gets into it. And so I would really like to do a deep study of this because I like the way MJ Cullinane thinks in terms of how she writes in her guidebooks. And it feels like, I don't know, it just feels different from her other ones. And I want to know what all these symbols mean, and because of that it feels like one where it's like, okay, I'm gonna pull like one card and just focus on that. I love that card. I'm really excited about this one. And I think it feels deep study in that way, where it's like I really want to like focus in on it. That could be fun to do next month. I'm not really, so the thing with this prompt is I'm not really a deck study person. There is never going to be a world where I pick a deck and that's what I use for the month. just, it's not gonna happen. And then to be consistent about something outside of my own, just like my daily readings, not really good about that. So it's one of those things I haven't quite figured out how I like to go about it, other than just bringing it into my daily reading. So that's what that would look like for me. I don't know. I'd love to know the different ways. Anytime someone's like doing a deck study, I love reading about it, watching videos about it, because I'm so curious how other people go about it. Because I'd love to do something a bit more intentional, but I don't know, just haven't figured that out yet. And that's okay. But yeah, Garden of Enchanted Creatures. And last but not least is MJ Cullinan's Unquiet Oracle. I am obsessed with this. I didn't think I was going to buy this because she was a little pricey for it's not many cards. But oh my gosh, the content of it, so worth it. It comes with a big book, first of all. So to me, it definitely feels like the cost is in the book. But the images of this are gorgeous. And I feel like I need to I'm not going to do it justice if I try to just explain it myself. I feel like I want to pull up her description. Okay. In 2025, my teenage daughter has fewer rights than I did at her age. She has less autonomy over her body, fewer legal protections, and fewer freedoms that once felt hard-won, if not entirely secure. We are living in a moment that feels like a step backward and more like a calculated rollback. Women are being criminalized for ending pregnancies. Doctors face prison for saving the life of a mother over that of an unborn, unviable fetus. In boardrooms and hiring panels, women are asked if their job was earned or handed to them as part of a diversity metric. And on national stages, prominent men tell graduating classes that women are happiest as homemakers, as if we've all been waiting for someone to remind us of our place. Too many people in power would prefer we stay quiet, smile politely, and not give another thought to changing the system. Be grateful, be good, be quiet. Let me be clear, this deck isn't about bitterness. It's not about bashing men. And it's not a weapon, it's a mirror. Because the revolution starts within. This deck is about telling our truth about the systems and stories we've inherited, often from people who loved us. In fact, most of the shame I carried didn't come from men. It came from my mother. From the culture she absorbed, internalized, and passed down like good manners. Not out of malice, but because that's how things worked in her world. This is not an indictment, it's a reckoning. It's a calling out of the patterns we were taught to live with, and in many cases to live by. It's about how girls are taught to be good instead of bold, to be liked instead of listened to be quiet so others can feel comfortable, to be small so others can feel big. It's about the roles we never chose, good daughter, good wife, team player, helper, peacemaker, and how those roles shaped us into the people we are today. Chills. And so this is one where, getting into the book, I feel like I should show some of the book. It's huge. Look at I can't even get it in the full screen the way it's zoomed in. And so each card has a usual oracle entry, date first pulled, anything noteworthy. But then you get, she has another section that is a word for my daughter and anyone who needs to hear this, a spread, journal prompts, and then a whole page to put your own notes. That's for every single card. And so there aren't a lot of cards. I don't remember how many. 24. But like with the amount there is to do with each card, it's almost like I could not imagine even having more. Learned erasure, historical conditioning, unseen inheritance. It's heavy. And I think just each card is really going to require a lot of attention and care and thought. So for certain, feels like a deep study deck. I'm really excited. I've not started yet because I don't know how I want to go about it. But I think the answer might just be to just jump in. But I love this so far. That's the Unquiet Oracle. And that was the last deck for prompt number 3. So last but not least, let's get into 4. Okay, and prompt number 4 is 3 decks you want to use before the end of the year. Now this one was kind of tricky because 2 of the 4 months left are definitely dominated by holiday decks. Like October is gonna be my Halloween decks, and then I actually have an assortment of like wintry Yule decks now that pretty much that's December. So I thought about, and then I wasn't sure like if I should think about this question as ones I like haven't used yet that are new, and I could do that because the 2 capsules I have planned to use in September have some new decks that I haven't used yet, but I feel like I just showed those. So then I was looking around my collection and I was like, okay, what feels to me like decks I would use fall and beginning of winter, that maybe I have used them a little bit, but it was like once and that was it. Or actually one of them I don't know that I've used at all. So they're not necessarily new, super new in my collection, but are ones that I'm like, hey, I actually should give that some attention. So the first one being The Demon Possessed Tarot by Travis McHenry. This is the indie edition, but I do believe if it's not out already, I know there was plans for mass market, but there was an oracle that was, I can't think of what it was called. I have that too, where it's got the demon on the top, maybe it's angel on top, demon on the bottom. Very cool. I like that one a lot. This Visago is just made my brain laugh a little bit because I'm listening to Last Podcast on the Left, one of my favorite podcasts of all time. I love it so much, and they are doing a series on the Kentucky vampire murders, and it was a group of teenagers playing Vampire the Gathering, and one of their names was Visago, and I'm just hearing the guys who are in that podcast say Visago. Anyways, but yeah, I got this in. I have the Angel Tarot as well. I just really like the look of these, but I haven't used them. So I'm like, you know what, actually, I feel like it would really be fun between now and the end of the year to bring in this Demon Tarot. It feels like it would really fit the vibe. Maybe as I'm getting to the end of September where it's like I'm itching to use my spooky Halloween tarots, but I don't want to do it quite yet. This could be really fun. I don't know, I think it could fit into a capsule somewhere. I've been loving doing the capsules. But yeah, definitely excited to use this, and one I want to for sure use by the end of the year. Next, we've got Daydreaming In Situ. I got this in the beginning of summer, perhaps. Used it once or twice, and then haven't really used it since. And I think it's truly the black border just makes me think of more like this time of year. And I don't really know why I like collage decks, but for some reason I have to definitely put more intention into being like, I want to use that. I just don't really think to, and there's no reason. But I saw someone pair this with When Olga Speaks, and yes. So I want to use that. I think it'd be cool with the Ritual Tarot. Ooh, maybe I could do like a whole collage capsule. That would be fun. But yes, this feels like a good, now that I'm looking at it, transitional deck from summer to fall. I think that could be where it slots in, right? Because a lot of the imagery feels very like light summer skies, but then again, like the black border, I think, just slots it in somewhere different. But I was really excited about this one, and still am. But it just got put aside a little bit, and so I want to make sure I remember about it. Daydreaming In Situ. Alright, and last but not least is one that I got, gosh, I think this came out last November. Got it immediately. I really like it. I think I just put it away somewhere that I don't know, I just didn't remember about it. The Dark Goddess Oracle. I almost forgot I had it. I put it with my goddess decks, and I think I need to do a reorganization because some of my categories I just forget to look at. But this deck is so cool. I think again, this sort of artwork would be really fun in October, November. There's a spookiness to it. But I love too that there's such an array of goddesses, and I like the keywords. And the fact that it's black and white, I'm sure it pairs well with a lot. I know I used this once or twice, and then it just kind of got put away in that Goddess Oracle bin, question mark? Yeah, bin. And I forgot. But I think it doesn't feel very spring, summer, so it, you know. Also, probably just wasn't quite the right time of year, but now we're getting into that, and I think this would be really cool to use between now and the end of the year. I think it would really fit into with a lot of the decks that I usually use this time of year. Again, probably, I don't know, I'm feeling specifically November. I don't know, we shall see. But that is the Dark Goddess Oracle. And that, my friends, is the last deck I've got to show today. So I love that. I love a good tag. So much fun. So thank you so much to Angel for making this. I hope, as your heart desires, you keep putting out these tags because they're so much fun. But other than that, I hope you're all having a great day so far, and I'll see you again very soon.